trials continue for those charged in the January 6th breach. Just yesterday, an independent journalist from North Carolina, Stephen Horn, was found guilty on 4 misdemeanor charges for being just inside the Capitol that day. Horn said he was there to document the events as a journalist, not to protest. And he even posted on X, quote, "I told the same truth to the jury that I posted along with my video on January 7th. I did not enter the Capitol building as part of the protest or for cheap thrills, but to accurately document and record a significant event which was taking place." Joining us now to discuss all of this, independent journalist at Substack, Julie Kelly. Julie, good to see you. We know you have been following the events of January 6th and these cases closely, more than most here, and you're intimately aware of what's happening. So always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me on, Bianca.
So let's talk about Stephen Horn. I mean, he's an independent journalist documenting the event. Is this just because it was a D.C. jury that he was up against no matter what, he was going to get a guilty verdict?
Of course, this is why D.C. juries have, and the DOJ has a near perfect conviction rate with January 6 defendants. This jury returned its verdict in, I believe, about 80 minutes. So they probably went in, ordered lunch, got their lunches, they filled out the verdict forms, and then notified the judge. This is how quickly a lot of these guilty verdicts and convictions are being returned. And quite frankly, it's why every single January 6th case, especially Donald Trump's, should be moved out of Washington, D.C., a city that's nearly 100% Democrats, that defense surveys show, and this has been documented for more than 2 years, have much different views of January 6th and what happened that day than other even comparably Democratic jurisdictions across the country.
And, you know, to go through a trial, to have the legal defense to do this and maybe appeal. I don't know if Stephen Horn will appeal, but that takes an awful lot of your life. And it's not something that's feasible for most Americans, Julie.
Not only is it very costly and time consuming, even if, like Stephen was, you were charged with 4 low-level misdemeanors that never have been used in this capacity before, especially this parading offense, your life is destroyed. You can end up on a terror watch list at TSA. You are dropped by banking institutions. You are vilified not just by the national news media, but your local news media as well. I mean, these people are complete outliers in their communities. They have been cast as domestic terrorists by the Biden administration, this DOJ, and of course the news media. So it's not just that you're trying to defend yourself against 4 misdemeanors. It is all the collateral damage that goes along with it. And of course, Stephen is just one of hundreds of victims of this retaliatory, selective prosecution of Trump supporters and now journalists as well.
He sure is, and I hope we can pick up the pieces of his life as we put the spotlight on that and what some of these other folks that were, you know, not doing anything violent inside, you know, are now facing. Let's talk a little bit about Judge Chutkan in D.C. Of course, she's assigned to Trump's federal election case, and, you know, there's been the tough prison sentences that she's handed down in January 6 cases, harsher than the Justice Department even recommended. The comments she made during some of the sentencing about Trump made his legal defense say, hey, she should recuse herself. That's not happening as of right now. But where do you see this possibly going and maybe resurfacing again for Trump's legal team as the January 6 cases continue on? And also her connection to the firm that employed Hunter Biden. There's so many things here that have people saying she's not the right judge.
She's not the right judge. I have an extensive investigative piece at Real Clear Investigations on her that was published last month. In fact, a lot of the motion that Donald Trump's legal team filed to ask Judge Chutkan to recuse herself was based on the reporting that I provided. I went over more than 1,000 pages of transcripts from her sentencing hearing. And it's not just her harsh sentences that she is handing down. It is her extrajudicial comments that she has made in court about Donald Trump, suggesting that he should be behind bars, lamenting the fact that he had not been charged for January 6th, which happened in a hearing just last year. And on my Twitter account, Julie_Kelly2, I talk about a recent transcript I just paid for and obtained, which shows even more biased comments that Judge Chutkan has made. Bianca, her her interpretation, her analysis of what happened on January 6th is completely detached from reality. She has called this an armed insurrection, an armed attempt to overthrow the government. There are no facts to support that. She is heavily biased, not just against Donald Trump, but against his supporters. And a lot of what she says is just simply not based on the facts and reality. For those reasons alone, she should be recused. But I will tell you something, after covering these cases for more than 2.5 years, there are not a lot of fair-minded, impartial judges to choose from on that D.C. District Court.
It's a problem. Finally, and real quickly, I don't have a ton of time, but I want to get your reaction because the last of 3 men who went to trial on charges connected to that plot to kidnap Michigan's governor, Gretchen Whitmer, have been found not guilty. So for a second time, you tweeted that a jury has acquitted individuals charged in the FBI orchestrated plot. Obviously, vindication for them, a long time coming, but a lot of people said we knew this didn't smell right from the very beginning.
We didn't. So of the 10 men who have gone to trial in the Whitmer, what I call Fed-napping hoax, half of them have been acquitted by Michigan juries. This is a huge defeat for the Department of Justice and just proof once again of what an elaborate FBI entrapment scheme the FBI put together to entrap these men and make it look like Trump supporters, right-wing militiamen loyal to Donald Trump tried to kidnap and kill Gretchen Whitmer right before the 2020 election.
Julie Kelly doing some real journalism out there, and it is always a pleasure to talk to you about these cases and what's happening in America. Appreciate your time. We'll have you back real soon.
Thanks for having me on.
Bet.